Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sam, and in today's video it is time to do my November monthly wrap-up. I feel like November was years long and also so quick. I cannot believe we are coming into the last month of the year. In November, I ended up reading 12 books, plus I am currently reading one that I suspect I will be finished, so I will touch on that. But overall, I feel like November books took me just substantially longer to read for some reason. Sometimes that just happens, I guess, but let's just chat about everything that I read this month. Starting out, I finished off the Scared Sexy Amazon Originals novella collection that came out for Halloween. So the last book was My Boyfriends Are All Monsters by Kimberly Lemming, and I ended up rating this probably a generous 2 stars. I just did not vibe with this one at all. In this one, we're following this demon who has to feed on humans' fear, and she just doesn't really like feeding that way. And our male main character is kind of a simp, I guess, and just did not work for me. I don't know what that says about me, but he was too nice. And I just didn't love the magic system. I didn't love the way that it ended. I thought it was going to be a bit more just like less spice based, but it was this series of novellas overall were just a bit too sweet, if that makes sense. I thought it was going to be more of like the darker Halloween spooky vibes. Next, I ended up reading My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine, and I ended up rating this 3 stars. This just didn't go the way that I thought it was going to. I thought I was really going to enjoy this one. I really liked Reggie from book one, and he just felt completely different to what I remember in this book. I feel like all of our characters were very awkward, and it was still silly. Our female main character is also an accountant, which there's a lot of like accountant jargon, which I will say was kind of nice, being something different to what I feel like we normally see, but it just didn't fit right. I don't know. Nothing really worked together for me personally. And provided this book is called My Vampire Plus One, I thought we were actually going to be attending the wedding, and the wedding was going to be much larger plot of this book, but it wasn't at all. And so it just felt a bit misleading. Next, I finished off listening to The Blonde Who Came In From the Cold by Ally Carter. This is book 2 to The Blonde Identity. I love this one as well. I ended up rating this 4 stars. It just gives like early 2000s like spy rom-com vibes. It's like fast paced, like some intrigue, solving problems, and like the forced proximity of our spies having to be together on this mission. And I loved the like dual timeline element. We got to see Alex first becoming a spy and how her and King had to do all these missions together and kind of how they relate to the missions that they're doing now. I just absolutely loved it. And like the love confessional, just like the way that they cared for each other and would do anything for each other, even though they were like very reluctant allies a lot of the time. This was just so much fun. I had the best time listening to this. The next 2 books were also included in my reading holiday romance vlog that I posted earlier this month. So I read Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace, and I really ended up enjoying this one. I rated it 4 stars. I thought the banter was really good. I loved the small town. Initially, it felt a bit disjointed and everything was getting solved pretty quickly, but the way that Clara found herself ingrained in this town and was there for everybody was just so sweet and gave a lot of the holiday sort of vibes that I was hoping for. I do wish that there was a bit more confrontation and resolution with the conflict and ending of this book. And with that being said, it was a bit predictable, but overall, I had a great time. Excellent festive holiday read if you haven't picked up any holiday books yet. Next, I read The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore, and unfortunately, I ended up rating this 2.5 stars. I just really didn't like our main character, Sierra. She was very much of a Scrooge, and she bought this Christmas tree farm because she wanted to do something on her own. She wanted to create this homestead, but it didn't seem like she was actively trying to do anything with it. And then all of a sudden, they had this grand opening, and she had done all of these things, and we never got to see any of that. I feel like with these books, a lot of the times there is this overall plot or trauma that the character is trying to work through, but we never actually get to see anything. It's just named in the book for a sense of depth, but we don't ever actually get into it. I just really feel like the backstories were underdeveloped, and I do really enjoy the town and the rest of the friend group, and I wish that we got more interactions of our characters, both together and individually, with friends and family. Next, I listened to Apprentice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, and I rated this 3 stars. I still don't really love the narrator, and although I finished listening to book one, I think only a month or two previously, I feel like I already forgot everything that happened and nothing, I don't know, it just seemed very convoluted. I think we got more POVs in this book, but it was very hard to determine who was, like, whose POV it was. And overall, I just found myself drifting off and not being completely focused on this book, which I think explains my lack of interest and a forgetfulness of what is happening. It just never really held my attention and nothing felt consistent. Next, I read Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo, which this was also in my last reading blog that I did, where I continued a few more series. And I ended up rating this 3.5 stars. I did end up enjoying this more than I expected, although I did definitely have to Google some spoilers for the rest of the series to try to remember what was going on. I really liked the political intrigue and all of the moving pieces and how each of our characters were kind of on their own path and their own assignment, I guess, to help prevent the war in one way or another. I loved all the cameos of people from the previous series and events of the previous series. And overall, I feel like it was just a really good conclusion to the series, the world as a whole. I feel like there was excellent longing, excellent friendships, and some really good, thought provoking kind of messages, especially in the later parts of this book. Next, I ended up listening to Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham, and I absolutely loved this. I love the Gilmore Girls, and so hearing Lauren Graham talk about her experience on the show and just her experience in life growing up becoming an actor was just amazing. And she quite literally performed this book. I ended up rating it 4 stars. I had a great time with it. I feel like she talked about some very important things as well and just really made me think. Overall, I just think that she told her story beautifully. I washed my hair this morning, and so I'm trying to keep it from not being totally gigantic, but it is what it is. Next, I ended up reading Revolve by Balcabra. This is book 3 in the Off the Ice series. And I ended up rating this 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. I loved the way that our characters interacted and the banter and how they continually showed up for each other. But I do feel like this book specifically was like some other hockey romances that I've read. And also, when I was starting to read this one, I feel like I forgot everything that happened specifically in book 1 and 2 and the friend group overall. So I had to try to get a little recap of what happened in those ones as well. I think it's just a little bit similar to some other book series. Nonetheless, I did still really enjoy it, and I love how deep some of the conversations are in these books, and you could really feel the emotion of the characters coming through. Then, ending out the month with my last 3 books, I had just the best time. So, first of these books, I read Quicksilver with Bestie Emily by Kelly Hart, and I ended up rating this 5 stars. I loved this. I don't know if it was just that I read it the perfect time or just it worked for me personally. I really loved the world. I thought it was very unique. I loved the magic system. Again, super unique. I really went into this book with zero expectations, zero knowledge of what the sort of plot would be. And I think it's because it's been quite a while since it has come out. And so anything that I heard just left the brain. But I just love all of the fantastical elements that Kelly chose to put in this book and the way that she wove them together. It was full of amazing imagery. It was dark and gross and creepy at times. I didn't get a single one of the twists. I was just along for the ride, having the best time. Absolutely love this book. The banter also was like exactly my humor. The one-liner like quips, amazing, loved it. So after that, I ended up going into listening Kingfisher's POV like bonus chapters, and again, I rated these 5 stars. Normally bonus chapters or novellas never get high ratings for me because there's so little information, but this just was done so well. I loved the audiobook. I loved how it was put together and the information that we got. I was just having the time of my life. Again, the imagery was unreal. I cannot wait to start reading Brimstone here soon. And the last book that I have finished in November is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. This was fantastic. I don't know how to put my thoughts into words about this book. It just elicited so much emotion. I loved getting the different time periods and the historical significance of these time periods and how our characters grow and change over time. It was amazing. This touched on some very important topics, like so many things. It was just so thought-provoking. The way that it was written was so beautiful. It was poetic. And I heard a lot of people comparing this, not necessarily comparing it, but saying that if you enjoyed Addie LaRue, you will love this book. And I didn't love Addie LaRue. It didn't speak to me the way that I kind of expected based on other people's reviews, but this was amazing. Clearly 5 stars, no notes. I feel like I will be thinking about this book for a long time. I loved finding out how all 3 of our characters were interlinked and trying to not necessarily figure out what was going to happen, but yeah, just the mystery of that. And I loved how V. Schwab took some of the traditional vampire, I guess, rules or themes and twisted them just a little bit. I had the best time. I could not stop reading this book. I was enthralled the whole time. Needed to know what's happening. She put something in this. And the last book that I have not yet finished, but I am 100 pages in and need to finish it this month, is Mate by Allie Hazelwood. Like I said, I'm only 100 pages in. I am enjoying it. I feel like we are dropped right into the meat of the plot, and it has been quite a while since I read Brides. I didn't necessarily remember what was happening, like political wise, in terms of all of the different types of creatures and their regions. And so I'm finding it very difficult jumping between time periods. We are present day and then like 5 months in the past. I think that gap is bridging at this point, but I'm enjoying it. I hate some of the like names Cohen specifically is calling like other guys. It's just like giving millennial cringe. Fingers crossed, I end up really enjoying this one. It's fun, it's quick, especially after reading Bury Our Bones. But that was everything that I read in November. Let me know down below what you have read in November. What was your favorite book? Have you read any of the books that I read? If you want to talk spoilers, you can find all of my links to the other corners of the internet linked down below. Give this video a like if you did enjoy, and I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.